Welcome back to Dialogue Tree, episode 41. I am your host, Matthew Peterson, and as always, I'm joined by wonderful co-host Daniel. What's up with that Woody Woodpecker, the show, Padilla?
Yeah, that's me, dude. That's what they call me in Hawaii.
I think that's what the Woody Woodpecker show was called. It was something stupid.
Really? Like the 90s one or the older one?
I don't know. I was like two.
Okay.
I was too young. I
Yeah,
had an awful day like that.
because I know all those older cartoons got like weird iterations back in like the 90s. You know how like
Yeah.
Scooby Doo got like Scooby Doo Kids and whatever.
And Scrappy Doo.
Right, and then Tom and Jerry too. Tom and Jerry had Tom and Jerry Kids back in like the 90s.
That's weird.
Felix the Cat. Felix the Cat has old ass cartoons, but then they had like a Felix the Cat like reboot, if you want to call it that, back in like the 90s too, which I remember watching when I was a kid.
I have never seen Felix the Cat.
Do you know who Felix the Cat is?
No.
What the hell? Are you serious?
Yeah. Oh, maybe if I look at him.
Yeah, it's a little black cat with the magic.
Oh, I do. Yeah, he's the one who looks like Cuphead.
Right. Yeah, because he's that old, right? Like the first Felix the Cat cartoons. I think he's even older than like fucking Mickey. I would say. Evidently not as popular.
I mean, I've definitely seen him before. I just had no idea what his name was.
Right.
I thought it was just like that S that everyone drew on their notebooks in middle school.
Oh, right. Just that character just exists in people.
Yeah, it was just like a design. Yeah.
He used to be a comic book character. I don't know why I know this. I don't know. I saw this recently in a YouTube video. I don't know what YouTube video, who was talking about this, but I learned recently, like within the last week or two, that he used to be like a comic strip character back in like 1920s, 1930s or some shit. And then he had a couple of cartoons, one back in like the 60s, which was really weird in Spanish. I'm not gonna lie. Animation was really cheap, you know, like those older shitty Hanna-Barbera cartoons, really bad, really cheap animation. But the Spanish stuff was weird because like every now and then they would just throw in words in English. Like the one example that I clearly remember is one of the villains just saying something like, "Les vamos a dar otro chance." You know what I mean? Like, and chance is not really a word that you would just like incorporate in your Spanish dub just like that. Especially not in like the 60s or 70s or whenever this cartoon was dubbed.
Right. That is weird.
Yeah, it's very, very strange. I do remember watching the 90s cartoon, which was a lot less weird. I haven't seen anything about the 90s cartoon in like ages though. Like I haven't seen reruns or people talking about it or anything, but I do know it exists.
Okay.
That is our lesson on Felix the Cat.
Yeah, thank you for the info. Maybe you'd actually learn something about Spider-Man. So next time Owen comes on, you could give him the information he asked for.
Yeah, goddamn, you're right. I have not done any research, and I have not read any additional Spider-Man since. So
God damn it.
Yeah, dude. I also haven't read the Hellboys that I downloaded years ago. So I wish I could have those on my tablet, but I can't seem to figure that out.
You can't just like convert the file. I don't know. I don't have a tablet.
Not my. I meant my. Because I have a Amazon Fire, I think it's called.
Yeah, and it like doesn't accept outside files or something.
I've attempted to even use the Calibre app that allows you to like. I use the Calibre app to send book files that I haven't purchased off of the Amazon store. That's what I use to do those, and it usually has no issues. But like with I don't know what I have to do with the comic book file type or whatever to get it to like recognize it once inside of the. I can like send it into the tablet's memory, but like once I'm inside the tablet, I can't seem to open it for some reason.
That's weird.
I know, dude. I hate it. It's just I don't know. When I'm on my computer, I think mostly of like fucking looking at YouTube and shit like that, as opposed to.
I hate reading. I hate reading like a long thing on my computer. Honestly.
Yeah, exactly. This is weird. This is awkward to navigate because you have to like zoom in to certain things and like you can't quite see the whole picture and like the size of your screen and whatever. So it's just awkward.
You can read it on your phone. It's like not optimal, but
shit. I guess you're right. My phone is an Android, which is easier to throw in.
I was reading that awful JoJo's comic on my phone just to see how it was.
Or his
Bizarro Adventure.
Yeah, it's fucking funny.
Yeah.
Cool, dude. That's a weird, long introduction.
Yeah. I mean, it's been 2 weeks actually since we did this because we
last recorded. You're right.
We recorded one with Shine and Danny basically back to back.
Right. Would it surprise you that nothing interesting has happened in my life since that I have to talk about on the show?
No, dude, that seems to be pretty standard for the way things are right now.
Yeah, right. That's actually a lie. I do have a couple of things that I could talk about.
Okay, now, some stuff happened here. We had this is not like new news anymore because it was last week, but we had a really big tropical storm and it tore through. I don't think anyone died or anything, but it just made a
Right.
huge mess. It's a big mess. And so last Saturday, which was almost a week ago now, I guess, they said that
Yeah.
everyone would have power on, and they're still like working on getting everyone's power on today for some people.
Yeah, it's crazy. You mentioned that yesterday when we were playing Rocket League, and it's
Yeah.
right because I am taking on an online class right now, and like not everyone, of course, is on campus. Right, the class has already started to meet, so it was a weird thing, right? Like half of the class was virtual for everyone, and then for like the last couple of meetings, some people were able to actually go into the classroom. Others, for the current ongoing world circumstances, others are still taking the class from home. I'm one of
Yeah.
them. But we did have people who were like yesterday. I remember professor mentioned one of the students who said that might still be having like power issues. Like this one student kept coming in and out of the meeting precisely because of they were still having power issues after the storm, which is fucking crazy.
Right.
Highly inconvenient. Inconvenient is the word that I'm looking for.
It
Highly
is.
inconvenient.
They're looking at getting sued.
No shit.
It's a question of like how much responsibility does the company have for like this food waste, depending on how long they don't fix it for people not being able to work.
Oh, right, true. Yeah, not everyone is back at their offices or anything, right? Most people are
Yeah,
still working from home.
exactly.
And you're right, most people have like all their food stored in their fridges, which just fucking goes bad.
But it was okay. We only lost power at my house for part of the day when it was happening. It was pretty like it looked pretty scary, and I think you could have died if you were out there. Like some
No
big
shit.
trees were coming down if
Right, because
that landed on you.
all the debris that was just like floating around. Yeah,
It
shit.
wasn't
Imagine
even
having
really rainy. It was just super windy, and it
right.
was knocking everything around. Took like 3 days to clean everything up.
Imagine walking around and just have like a tree branch fucking impale you, dude.
Yeah, or just break your neck.
Right, damn, yeah. I don't quite remember being, because I was in the States for just about 6 years and a few months, and I don't quite remember ever living through like a big storm like that. Except
Yeah,
I do remember this one time back in 2017, there was supposed to be this big fucking hurricane back in Florida where I was staying at the time. But I had an interview, if I'm not mistaken, I had an interview somewhere in Massachusetts, so I was able to fly out. I actually had a really tough time getting a flight out of Florida because literally everyone was like trying to get out of there because
like fleeing.
the storm was supposed to be huge, and I think in fact it was. Like there was a lot of flooding, in Miami and shit like that. But I was able to leave, so I didn't even feel any of it. Right, all I felt from the storm was the big rush at the Orlando airport. That was basically the only
Yeah,
convenience I had. Yeah,
yeah,
and I left. And I was safe back in Massachusetts. I do remember Hurricane Sandy was supposed to be a thing when I was a first year. I don't know if you remember Hurricane Sandy at all.
yeah. I do.
This was back in somewhere between 2012 and 2013. I don't remember exactly when, but I remember Clark closed for like a day, like on Monday or Friday or whatever. But then all we got in Worcester was some rain, and it wasn't even that hard, and it wasn't even that windy. I remember being at Clark and having harder, like bigger, stronger storms when there wasn't even like a fucking alert for a hurricane or anything.
Right. That was the last thing that ever came through Connecticut since this one. It like never comes here.
How was Sandy? I know it was pretty big in New York.
It made like a lot of people live by the water, so like their houses got soaked and flooded
Right.
up and stuff. Because if you live by the beach, and there's never storms here, so I don't know. Things just weren't prepared. I guess.
Right. People aren't
Um,
necessarily prepared for it. Yeah.
I think a lot of like the people who actually like have like beach houses right on the water kind of got screwed over.
I do remember it being big in New York because I did have my friend who was going to school in New York, and he was like out of power in his dorm and whatever for like a good week. I would think, right? It was for like a good amount of time. But Massachusetts was pretty like it was so tame in Massachusetts that I remember even like meme page popping up on Facebook about like never forget Hurricane Sandy 2012 or whatever the fuck it was. And all they share was like pictures of maybe like a trash bin like flipped over or like a like a table flipped over in some house or some shit, which is probably a little bit insensitive given that there were people who were actually really affected by it.
Right.
So what was the name of the storm?
This was Isaias. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, it's interesting that they would. I guess I just don't really know about like storm naming conventions, but
I don't know if it's like I don't know if it's international, but they always do like very very white names here.
Right. That's why I asked you the name of the storm, because I remember you telling me that it was like pronounced in like the way that we here,
Yeah,
like
because
Spanish people would pronounce it.
yeah, it's written like Isaias, but they keep
Right.
saying it like
Isaías.
Isaias. So yeah, I
Right.
asked you if that was how you would say it.
Right, and it's just odd to me because like I don't remember like, there ever being a storm called like fucking Jorge or some shit like
Mhm.
that. You know what I mean? Like they're always just like traditionally like Anglo-Saxon like naming
Yeah,
conventions.
I have
Whatever you want to
no
call
idea.
it. Yeah. Shit, dude. So the big storm. So you and your family were all good except for the
Yeah,
mess.
yeah, it was no TV for like a day, but it's fine.
We were still able to play Rocket League like at the end of the day, right? Weren't we?
Yeah, yeah. In fact, the power came back on. There was internet, just not cable.
Oh shit, right. Do you even watch cable anymore, dog?
No,
At
but
all?
it was off.
Right.
I
Right. Right.
knew
Right.
that.
Yeah.
I guess in the to finish off Connecticut watch, the primaries were yesterday, where the
Oh
voting
shit.
was, and I only bring it up just because the Republican primary is going crazy. So yesterday, as they were counting the ballots, one of the incumbent candidate there was arrested for assault, not
No way, dude.
not assaulting someone at the convention or whatever, but
Yeah.
like a previous charge
Right.
or
Oh, that's
something. Like
fucked
the
up,
police
man.
found him there and arrested him. And now he's winning by
Jeez.
like 0.02%, and they have to do a recount, and he's in jail.
And he's arrested. He's in jail. Yeah. Shit, dude.
And it's just like what a weird situation to have right at the election. So I don't know if he
Right.
wins. I don't even know what happens.
I was just right. I was just gonna ask you if you knew what happens if he actually is awarded the win. What then?
Yeah, I don't know.
Fucking no. Shit.
Yeah, I
This
don't
is
know.
for governor. You said.
Yeah, for the Republican nominee.
Oh,
For yeah,
gotcha. Oh, you said
yeah,
primaries, right?
yeah,
So okay, so I talked about the whole hospitals thing here in
yeah,
Honduras,
yeah,
right? So ever since those scandals started coming out, right? How because there's been a lot of scandals, right? The hospitals that we overpaid for, right? A lot of the money not going towards the hospitals, but going towards some ghost account somewhere in some bullshit.
yeah.
But before that, we also had the I don't quite remember what organization or body, but it was like one of those organizations in charge of like emergencies type stuff, right? Some invoices came out from purchases that they made for big LCD screens, TVs, and for fucking coffee makers that they were paying like thousands of lempiras from. Like, you know what I mean? Like a coffee maker. I don't know how much it would cost in dollars because I make coffee with a French press. But like according to these invoices, they were purchasing coffee machines for 4,000 lempiras, which goes for which the conversion would be somewhere close to like two like I don't fucking know, like 170, $180, maybe just about.
Mhm.
Dude, like we're in the middle of a pandemic. What the fuck are you buying these LCD screens
Right,
for? LCD TVs for? What the fuck are you buying these $172 coffee makers for? Right. So
right.
that's another one of these scandals. And so like ever since these scandals started coming to light, I guess kind of like the protest slogan that people here in Honduras have adopted is donde está el dinero, right? Where's the money? And some asshole, like a couple of days ago, like a handful of days ago, overnight, right? Someone in one of like the biggest, not biggest, but like the busiest slope bridges here in the city, which is actually close by my house. Someone make like a big mural. I don't know if you call it mural, but like I guess they just painted over the words and like big ass letters. They painted "Donde está el dinero?" hashtag Honduras lo exige, as like Honduras demands it.
Uh-huh.
And dude, the local government had like it showed up the morning after. Whoever did this did it overnight. So like people only saw it the morning after, and like people were freaking out about it, and the fucking local government rushed to get rid of that shit, dude.
Right.
Like they closed down the bridge. They had like construction workers like fucking scrubbing it with like oils, and then they threw sand all over it, and they couldn't get rid of it until like a couple of days ago. They actually started to like scrub it off. But then what happened was the actual people here in the city actually went with their own fucking cans of paint and they like retouched the whole thing, which is like the greatest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life.
Damn.
Not even kidding. Yeah. And it's just, you know what I mean? Like, just to give you like, I guess the lightest of examples, our roads here are fucked, dude. They're fucked. They're like full of potholes and potholes that have been in the same spots for years. Right. And it just makes you think, right? Like, all right, people are peacefully protesting all the bullshit that is happening during a fucking global pandemic, right? And that's what makes you rush to the streets to clean it out. Whereas we've had
Right.
huge ass potholes that like cost people lots of money in car repairs and shit like that. And the local government doesn't move a fucking finger for those. You know what I mean? Those have been there
Right.
for years and they don't move a fucking finger for it. It just makes you think, right? And that's just to give you the lightest of examples, how shitty
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
fucking is. So yeah, that is like the a lot of weird news come out of Honduras. I think that is like some of the weirdest news that has come out over the last week. This big sign.
Yeah. That's pretty interesting.
I'll send a picture to the Discord now.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. What else is good, dude?
So last time we talked about One Step from Eden, but now I'm going to talk about unrelated East of Eden, which just happened. They just happen to both have Eden in the name.
All right, it should be there now.
Oh yeah, damn, that's
That
huge.
is the people touching it up.
Damn,
I
that's
fucking
good.
love that. Yeah, I love to see that solidarity and camaraderie. You know.
Yeah, I guess for a description, it just looks like that Black Lives Matter thing they painted in
Right.
Washington. It's just like
Right.
on the road. But yeah, I've been reading East of Eden. I'm probably like 2/3 of the way through it. It's
No shit
very long.
already.
Yeah,
Damn, dude.
I mean, I must have gotten it the day before the hurricane or the tropical storm, I guess. So I've been reading it for like 2 weeks now. It's really good. It's just like about a bunch of people's lives, but it feels like it
Yeah.
has a lot to say about like happiness and how you interact with the world around you. It's really interesting, but it's also pretty philosophical without being like super overt about it.
Have you read a lot of Steinbeck before, dude?
Not really, only in high school because we had some stuff assigned. I don't even
Right.
remember what it was called. There's one about the Nazis in like a small village or something, and like the people's resistance against them. I have no idea what it was called, but it was pretty
Oh
good.
shit. Yeah, it doesn't sound familiar to me.
I think it was his, but yeah, I haven't finished it, but I really like the book. I think it's quite good, and I would
Right.
recommend checking it out.
Hell yeah. So I'm a big Steinbeck fan. The issue is that, like some of his bigger works, like fucking The Grapes of Wrath and East of Grapes of Wrath is pretty long. East of Eden is like twice as long, I believe.
Yeah, it's like 600 pages at least.
Yeah, right, exactly. So I'm just kind of intimidated by those because I haven't really read books that are that long in a very long time.
Mhm.
But John Steinbeck, I have read a lot of his, I guess, shorter novels. I've read fucking so because you said it's just about like it seems to be just about like people's lives, but it also I don't know. Okay, so I wanted to talk about Cannery Row. I read that when I was still in college back in like fucking I don't know 2017 or some shit, and
Yeah.
I loved that novel. Right, I fucking loved it. And like what I found really like interesting and like attractive about it is that it was precisely just that, right? It just seemed to like talk to you about the people's lives in this little California town that was, whose economy revolved around fish canneries, right? Like sardines and tuna and
Mhm.
whatever kind of bullshit. Some of these people's stories, like life stories, were like really fucking sad. You know what I mean? Like a lot of like awful, tragic shit happened to them.
Mhm.
And it is sad, but it's just the way that he brings everything up as sad as it all is, it just made me feel like, yeah, this is really sad, and I feel sorry for this person, but like that's just the way things had to be. I always get the sense that that's just the way things were supposed to be for these people, and I find that really like compelling, really like touching. You know what I mean? I fucking love Cannery Row, and that's just the sense that I get in all of his books. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also just how versatile he is. Yeah, you're not about Tortilla Flat at all. Have you ever seen that? Have you ever looked at that?
No, not at all.
Tortilla Flat is interesting because so what he does is like the character, and I think he even talks about it in the introduction. He like draws a parallelism from this, like fucking campesinos in California back in like the 20s, 30s, or whatever. And he draws a parallelism between them and the fucking Knights of the Round Table. The language with which they speak is, the type of language that you would expect to read if you're reading a King Arthur novel, right? With like
Mhm.
old English and shit like that. They're just campesinos in fucking 1930s, California. So it's just interesting how he's able to like incorporate all these little stylistic choices and stuff. I don't know, man. I'm just a big fan of John Steinbeck, and it's cool that you're reading that book, and it's cool that you're telling me that it's good. I am, I expect to read it sometime. I know it's on my
Yeah.
Kindle. I'm just really overwhelmed by how long it is.
It takes a while to even get to the first to even get I haven't even gotten maybe like it's not the point, but the narrator is like a character, but I don't think they've been in the story yet. They're just like
Oh shit!
describing like these generations of people that came before
Right,
them and like
right,
them living through all their entire lives and stuff. So I
right.
don't even really think they've been in the story yet, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, shit. You think it's like leading up?
I guess, or maybe that at the end they'll just be like, "This is all I found out about
Right.
from living in this town." You know,
Right. Interesting. But it is in first person. I'm guess I'm getting right. Yeah.
they're pretty omniscient. Like
Okay. Okay.
they
Okay.
know a lot of stuff, and it's unclear if they're always talking or if there's also like a narration.
Right. Gotcha.
Um,
Fucking interesting, dude.
yeah, I'll
Yeah.
tell you
John,
when I finish it. But
that's
I liked it so far.
yeah. 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 John Steinbeck, man. Fucking go out and read him. He has very short novels. The Pearl.
Yeah,
The Pearl is like less than 100 pages, and it's fucking beautiful.
this was in high demand. It took me a while to get this from the library, and they have
Oh,
free
really?
copies. Yeah,
Yeah. I guess people have a lot of time at their hands. They're reading
yeah,
fucking
I guess so.
600-page books, right? Damn.
Yeah,
Right. Cool. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you bringing that up. Always
yeah.
love talking about John Steinbeck. Hell yeah. I guess okay. So another thing that I could potentially talk about is okay. So you and I went to that Soja concert back in 2018. Right? You remember that?
Oh yeah, yeah. We went to
Yeah.
the Soja, and they also had like that. They had like that weird country ska band before as like the
Oh,
opener
Nako.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nako and the Bear,
they
or
were
whatever
pretty
his name
good.
was. I loved them. Yeah, they
That
were
was the best cover of Bad Moon Rising I ever heard.
right, 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 right. Yeah, it was good. And the dude was like super interactive with the crowd. I remember he like paraded through like the crowd at some point too.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. There's
Yeah.
nothing worse than a bad opening band because then you like, I'm sitting here for an hour and a half waiting
Yeah.
for the concert to start.
Right. It just drains out your entire energy and shit like that, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, right. So my fucking thing with Soja, I listened to the very first Soja album back in like 2009. I don't remember. I don't know. I don't really know when their first album was released, but I discovered it back in like '09, right? And I liked it a lot. But it's different. It was a lot more like protesty type, type things that they would sing about.
Hmm.
And then I just kind of, I know I must have listened to a couple of other things from them, like throughout the years, but I didn't discover my probably easily my favorite album of all time, their album called Born in Babylon, which was released in '09. I didn't quite like rediscover it until I was a senior in college back in like 2015, 2016. And I fell in love with that back then. And it's, to this day, I would still confidently say that that's my fucking favorite album ever. And
Oh
even
damn.
then, right, because I liked it so much, I tried to like listen to some of their other albums, and they just didn't quite, for whatever reason, they just didn't quite resonate with me, right? And the same thing happened with the album that they were promoting when we went to that concert. So that concert was in 2018, like in March, and they had released their most recent album at the time. They released it in like October or November 2017, right? So it was pretty recent. And of course, I gave it a listen as soon as it came out, and it didn't quite resonate with me. It wasn't until we went to that concert and I had such a good time that I listened to it again, and I'm like, holy shit, this is amazing.
Oh, that's interesting.
The same thing happened very recently, like a couple of weeks ago. So they had this album called The Strength to Survive, and I think that came out in like fucking 2010, 2011, something like that, right? Years ago, like almost a decade ago. And I know that I'd probably listened to a couple of songs here and there, but it just didn't quite resonate with me. And I've been, for some reason, I went back to it, to the big single of that album called Not Done Yet. I think I shared it with you and Owen on
Yeah.
the group chat. And I cannot stop listening to that shit anymore, dude. Like, it's weird. It's weird, these like interactions that I have with Soja and their albums, man. Like, I don't know. I guess they just seem like applicable to me at like different, I guess, points in my life for whatever reason, whatever I'm going through. They
Well,
just
maybe it's just like they're a little older than you are, and when you get older, you'll get to that point that they were
right.
when they wrote it. You know?
Ah, shit, dude. I love that. I hadn't even thought about it that way. I fucking love that. That's actually excellent. Yeah. I think that makes sense, right? Because again, Born in Babylon, I'm pretty sure it came before. Let me just make sure of that. I don't want to sound like an asshole. Soja discography. Is that how you pronounce that word, discography?
Yep, that's how
Okay,
I say
yeah,
it at least.
yeah. So Born in Babylon is 2009, and Strength to Survive is 2012. So like, it would make sense that like they aged and I've aged too. So that's why, like, you
Yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean? Oh, I love that. That's actually excellent. Anyway, Strength to Survive, fantastic, fantastic album. If I had to recommend two songs, Not Done Yet is fucking gorgeous, and then the acoustic version of Gone Today. The acoustic version of Gone Today is fucking gorgeous, fucking gorgeous.
All right.
Absolutely recommend that shit to
Yeah.
anyone out there interested in checking out some American reggae. They're all American. They're really, really cool. They just write their songs with so much like longing and like nostalgia for like better things. You know what I mean? Or not
Yeah.
even better things, just like when things were, not that things are bad now, but I don't know. When I listen to them, I get the sense that things were really good before too, like sometime in the past, and they're just always talking about that, right? Like how good things were in the past, and this is, I guess, it's just like a feeling that I tend to relate to a lot, right? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I definitely enjoyed that concert. We went to them. They had a lot of showmanship.
Yeah, hell yeah, yeah. It was I think that's the last. No, never mind. I went to a Vilma Palma concert sometime last year, so that's not
Yeah,
true.
that might be the last concert I went to.
No shit, for real, damn dog.
I there was another one, and I may have gone like shortly after, but it's around then. It's been
It's
forever,
around that.
and then who
Right.
knows when the next time I'll ever go to a concert
God
is.
damn, yeah. All the bands are canceling their, not canceling, but postponing their
Yeah,
tours and shit. Yeah.
I mean they have like e-concerts or whatever, but it's really not nearly the same.
Not
Like I could just listen to the music if I wanted to watch a
yeah,
music
right.
video.
Right. Everyone's postponing their tours except apparently fucking Smash Mouth.
The hell, Owen sent us. Owen sent us an article that was like, maybe Arizona, the Smash Mouth, it shouts like, down with COVID while no one is wearing a mask in a 10,000 person arena or something.
Dude, what the fuck is up with that? And the
Yeah,
issue, like I don't remember a lot of Smash Mouth except for how Mimi fucking
mm-hmm.
whatever that song is, the Shrek song is called. I don't even know what it's called. All Star, right? That's pretty much all I remember them for.
Yeah.
But like that, I don't know. That gives you a, and I think they had another. Why Can't We Be Friends? They had a cover of that song, and they just
No,
I don't
they
know.
were popular at the time.
Right. I mean, right, exactly. But what I mean to say is, they seem to be like a wholesome band that wouldn't like be assholes like that. You know what I mean? Like they wouldn't. I guess I'm surprised that a band like them would play at a 10,000 person show or whatever in the middle of a pandemic and mock the pandemic, right? Like by shouting
Right.
shit to just fuck COVID or whatever. You know what I mean? I never thought they'd be the type of people, the type of band to do some bullshit like that. I thought they'd be like just more respectful and just aware of everything that's happening.
I've always got the feeling that Smash Mouth has grown very bitter over the loss of their careers to Shrek.
Oh God! I mean, I guess that's weirdly fair, right? I mean, I guess not fair, but understandable, if you will.
I guess, yeah, but I think you just got to roll with it.
Was it you who brought it up? How how like as opposed to like Weezer, who have actually embraced how memey they've become and whatever.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
It's smart.
And not gonna lie, they're I don't know if I probably shared like their most recent singles that they've put out. They have a lot of heart, man. Like despite how memey they are, their most recent like singles, like Hero, I think one is called Hero, and the other one I don't fucking remember what they're called. But anyway, they're really, really like I think they're genuinely good, right? It's not like my bias, me trying to like them, as it often happens with Weezer's more recent stuff. I think the last couple of singles that they have put out there are like genuinely have a lot of heart and personality, and I genuinely like them. So like even then, right?
Yeah, I'm not even aware if Smash Mouth is like releasing things. Like I don't even know.
Yeah, like I didn't even know. I had no idea they were still touring and shit. Like
yeah, I had no idea 10,000 people wanted to go see Smash.
Right, goddamn.
Especially in a pandemic, but whatever.
Yeah, Soja, fucking Smash Mouth, Weezer.
There's only one more thing I have written down here, and you knew it was coming. We got to talk about Sonic Shuffle again.
God damn, dude. All right. Yeah, fucking Sonic Shuffle. You wanna?
Yeah. So I don't remember. Maybe 2 weeks ago, you mentioned it briefly how it just was stupid because you watched the Game Grumps play it, and I was like interested. I don't really watch them, but I was interested in the game, so I ended up watching their whole playthrough, which is like probably like a 10-hour endeavor, maybe like a 6-hour endeavor. It's really long.
It's long, yeah.
But I loved it, and you're right. That game is absolutely awful. They were like clearly drained, and they were like describing it like they're in purgatory, and they were like, this would be the worst thing ever if you're playing Sonic Shuffle and it just like never ends, and you eternally think you started like 10 minutes ago, and you're just stuck doing it forever.
Yeah, dude. So you want to tell us what kinds of things like caught your attention about it?
Yeah. So I will say there is a mechanic that is not possible on emulator that was making the game less fun. You can't see your cards. Okay, so when I first saw it, I was like, okay, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt that maybe it's not just Discount Mario Party, because they are like trying some different things where the rolls aren't entirely random, so it's not all random and you can move in both directions.
Right.
which is kind of interesting. But like very soon as it went on, I just like felt dumb for even thinking it could have like any merit because it is just terrible.
Yeah, shit, dog.
But the
Okay,
the way
so
it, the way it
yeah,
works
go
is
ahead, go
like
ahead.
you have a hand of cards, and using the Dreamcast controller itself would display it, which you can't do on emulator. So all the cards were random to them, which made it less fun, and also made the AI really even more overpowered than it already is
Right,
because the AI could like roll perfectly. There's no like style put into the game at all.
right,
They've invented these new characters. Like Bowser is the villain in Mario Party.
right. He
You don't
always
need
is.
a new guy,
Right,
and Toad is the host. You don't like need another. You don't need these new characters to like
right.
to make the game work. And the new characters just look awful. I mean, everything looks bad because it's Dreamcast, but
Yeah.
the other characters, you're right, they don't really look like Sonic characters.
Yeah, and they're completely made up. Like that, I think Mario Party pulled that shit off was in Mario Party 3, where like the host was this weird kind of die dude that had like a die for a hat. I don't know if you remember this at
Oh
all.
yeah, Tumble.
Yeah, yeah. So he's like the only like I think to my memory, he's the only like made up character who like hosts Mario Party in however
Yeah,
many games there have been. Right? Because before that it was Toad. Later
there's
that
a
I think
there's a
it was still
stupid one
Toad and
in
Toadette.
the Wii one as a guy with a hat who's kind of annoying, but I think Toad is
Uh,
also in that one.
Right, but then you also have like the Starman, right? The Starman people, and the Starman, like yeah, they may have been turned into new characters that didn't exist before, but like the whole theme around Starman has always been a thing in Super Mario, right? So like
Yeah,
that doesn't even feel out of place. So, that's what I was telling you, right? Like a lot of they seem to like make shit up for this game, and like the way I described it to you, I remember is like nothing about this game feels Sonic except for the fact that Sonic and Dr. Robotnik and whatever is are in
yeah,
the game. Like everything else, just like the host of the game is this weird fairy creature thing,
yeah.
and there's like a big like edgy villain.
Right, he's like gonna kill everyone or something.
Yeah, and like a fucking party game, like the
Also,
tone.
I mean, whatever. It's story mode in Sonic Mario Party, but
Right,
the
right,
story is that they have to save the world from Void, and they're like, "Let's do it," and then they compete. What the hell? People's lives are at stake. Why are you competing to
yeah.
be first to stop the enemy?
Right. The story in Mario Party is always like, oh, I want to be the most
The
fun guy or whatever.
superstar.
Yeah, right. Which means nothing, you know.
Yeah, it's not like a whole realm is being threatened.
Yeah, dude. God damn. So right. So like they just tonally, it seems super off, right?
Yeah,
You have fucking Void, which is like this weird, edgy Dark Lord type fucking character, who doesn't exist in the Sonic universe outside of this fucking
no,
game. I don't
no
think.
way. There's
Right.
no
And then
way he came back.
yeah, right, right. And then you have like these weird battle moments where you just fight
Oh my
fucking
god. Yeah.
designs that seem to have been, monsters that have seem to have been designed by like a fucking 6-year-old. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
a fish with legs wearing ice skates.
God, dude, God, like even like all the enemies in Mario Party, they're all like Goombas and fucking, Koopa Troopas and whatever. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
why don't you why don't you embrace your identity and make it all cohesive?
Yeah.
And not only that, but you also have those spaces that give you that weird artwork,
Yeah, the events in
the events.
the events suck because there are 2 types of events. There's a bunch of text, and then you either lose or gain 50 rings. And then the other event is it just is like 3 choices, left, right, or straight, and there's like you just guess.
Right.
And it's like Mario Party has like a mini game. I don't know, maybe it's even random, but you like hit a button and stop the spinner in Mario Party, and it's like the end, and there's feedback to what you're doing.
Yeah, you seem to have some kind of you seem to have more agency I think, than
Yeah.
you seem to have in this game, right?
The moment I knew it was I felt dumb for like thinking it couldn't be any good was the first. So the mini games take a while to happen at all because they don't happen every turn. They happen when you land on the mini game space, which I don't know. It's just different. Maybe that's not even bad. But
Right.
the first mini game they go into is a shooting mini game,
Yeah.
and
Oh yeah.
there's just a JPEG, and everyone like walks up it vertically because they're in 3D space, but it's literally
Right.
just one JPEG, and they all like walk to the middle, and then the game starts, and the Knuckles is on hard mode, and he literally is just like aimbotting around. He's just destroying everything, and they're just like screaming about it because there's
Yeah.
absolutely zero way to beat the hard AI. And I
So
hate
why would you? So go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I hate that there are luck-based minigames, and then the hard AI just knows the answer. Like, that's not difficult. That's just literally impossible.
Right. So many, and the thing is, so many luck based mini games. Right. I feel like, yeah, Mario Party has a bunch of them, but most mini games do require you to have some kind of agency on them, and
Also,
not
I
even.
never get the sense in Mario Party that the AI knows the answer ahead of time. Like, I feel like they just
Yeah.
actually pick randomly regardless of their
Right.
difficulty.
Doesn't feel impossible to beat. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Like I play Mario Party in hard with like you guys and whatever, and like I don't always feel like. You know what I mean? Because like if we felt the way that Sonic Shuffle presents their hard AI, I feel like we would never do that.
No,
Right?
yeah,
Because it's just like, all right, this so
it's
we set it on
impossible.
hard. Right. If we set it on hard, we're never gonna win anything. So like what even is the fucking point?
Yeah.
Right? Like why would you program your hard AI to just be invincible? What is the thought process behind that? Right? Why if this is gonna be invincible, why do you even program it? Just don't.
Yeah.
You know? Because no one is going to do that unless you fucking get Game Grumps and you have like a show to, I don't think they were
Yeah.
thinking about people streaming this game,
No.
back in like 1999 or whatever.
I was impressed by how little feedback there was with, like, what you're doing and what's happening in the game. Like, there were many moments where, like, things would happen, and it was their first time playing. This was, like, a new file, I believe, so this was, like, the first player experience for anyone.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
things would just happen with, like, no impetus or recourse or anything, like like, this treasure chest just spawns and, some triangles come
Right.
out, and the triangles go back in.
And it doesn't even tell you what the triangles fucking
No one
do.
no one even says a line of text, I don't think. This box
Right.
just shows up and shows you some triangles, and then and in some case, they're going for, like, the gem, which is not the Chaos Emeralds. Of course, they made up other things besides the Chaos Emeralds, but whatever.
Yeah.
So they immediately, like, go for the objective, and then the AI beelines to the chest, and then he opens the chest, and it's like, "Now you have the key to get to the objective." And they're like, "Oh, that would have been nice to know I had to go there first instead of just, like, running into
Right.
running into this dead end while the AI laps me," 'cause it, like,
Right.
knows what's happening when there's no feedback to the
Right.
player.
God, dude, yeah. Fucking like I remember like sometimes like after a turn ends or after one person rolls or whatever, which rolls are these cards, right? You don't even roll a die, you just have
Yeah,
like
you
these
just
face
get
down cards.
cards.
And sometimes after someone's turn, like a random tree would just fall, blocking off some fucking blocking off some of the maps like roads or whatever you want to call them, right?
Yeah.
You just can't get past. Not only that, but like those weird accident moments,
Yeah,
right?
sometimes the game will just stop and it'll say "accident!" exclamation point question mark. It's like no feedback on that.
Right. Or those random fucking text boxes where I don't think Robotnik even shows up, but just do you see this random text box that says Robotnik made a mistake and some bullshit just happens on the
Yeah,
board. I don't even know what it is. And you don't even see Robotnik, it just tells you
yeah.
Robotnik made a mistake and something happened on the board. And you're like, all right, cool.
And they even did at the beginning, they even, like, hit the thing where it's like, "Explain about the board," and it literally said 2 things. It was like, the "This is like a switch," and it was like, "You can't jump on the alligator when its mouth is open," and that's literally all the info they give you.
God damn, dude.
I was blown away by how bad it is. I found it enthralling to watch them, but it must have been miserable to actually sit through.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's honestly what kept me watching, right? Just I kept thinking to myself, "There's no way this shit can get any worse or any weirder." And fucking little did I know, you know what I
And
mean?
then whenever they get a mini game, like, they're, like, audibly distressed that they have to find the mini game.
Right,
And the
man.
mini games are board specific, and there's only, like, 54 and 5 boards, so there's, like,
Yeah, right,
9 mini games per board. That
right.
sucks. That
That's
really is
ass. Yeah,
really
so
bad.
ass. Oh, and I just wanted to mention, yeah, if you're playing with an actual Dreamcast controller with a UMD, you are
It's
able to look at the
EMU.
You're right, UMD is the PSP. The VMU, you are able to look at the cards that you have available to you for your rolls or whatever you want to call them
Yeah.
on your VMU. But like the VMU is like the least fucking convenient, game peripheral in the history of game peripherals because like the battery lasts for like 2 hours, right? And
And it's hard to see.
it's hard to see. You need like the watch batteries to make it run, right? It doesn't run on like a fucking like double H, triple H or
Mhm.
whatever. You know what I mean? So like you'll play for a while and then that shit'll you'll run out of battery and then what do you do then? Right? You're screwed
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
It's just awful to like rely a game mechanic on this shit that
Yeah.
barely even works. You know?
No, there's so many problems that the game would be awful even if you had a VMU, but it does make the Game Grumps playthrough that more enjoyable because there's even less they can control about their their decisions because they have no agency in how far they move. Where
Yeah,
if you had
dude.
a VMU, you would have some.
Right, exactly. Right. More at least
Yeah, at least
than
more.
they did. Yeah. God damn, dude. Yeah, that shit's fucking
But
funny,
yeah,
man.
I thought we should bring it up now that we both knew what we were talking about.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
God
It
damn.
really blows. Like I was genuinely amazed at how poorly conceived this
Yeah,
game and
dude.
its mechanics was. You know.
I guess there's just the level of quality that goes into Mario Party that's not, maybe not readily apparent because it's just like, oh, I can make a game with like mini games that,
Right.
yeah, well, that's easy. But like, I don't know, you really have to think about like the control and like the balance and the fun of these events and
Right.
mini games.
Especially how fun this game feels to actually play.
Yeah, and like that, you don't even the rings, the money is not even used for buying stars like in Mario Party. There's a shop
Right.
like around, but like no one goes to it because you'd
You
rather
have to
just
land on it.
go for the objective.
Right. True.
The game ends with Knuckles having like 600 rings because he wins all the mini games, but he literally never spends them. So he's just amassing like a horde.
Because he just goes towards the goal and never
Yeah,
looks to stop at a shop. Yeah. Not only that, but you have to stop. You have to land on the shop to be able to use it. You can't
exactly.
just
Yeah,
walk past it. You need
yeah.
to
You
fucking
you
land
you
on
you have to land on the star exactly and on the shop exactly. So yeah, in
it.
Mario Party, you just walk past the shop and it opens, and then you can decline.
Yeah. And that is why the mini games are actually fucking useful towards something.
Yeah,
Even you may be losing and not being able to reach the star to buy the star, but you can at least buy fucking items that help you win the stars and whatever. You know. Yeah. God
I mean, I
damn,
could
bro.
go on for a while, but
Yeah, you're right.
the whole game is an issue. Honestly, there's nothing redeemable.
Its existence is an issue. Yeah.
Yeah,
Shit, man. Have you ever played a Sonic game that you genuinely enjoyed, dude?
a Sonic game that I generally like thought was fun.
Or yeah, just like enjoyed. Yeah.
I did when I was like young. I did play what's it called, Sonic Heroes, and it was like I was like this is kind of cool,
Right.
but I don't know. It's very much like of the Sonic. I mean, it's not as bad as Sonic 06 by any means, but it's like of that
Right.
era where you're not running, you're like navigating arenas of enemies and then like
Right.
maybe doing some platforming or like a shitty puzzle.
Right.
But yeah, that game was okay.
Yeah. Janky as fuck, but like not
Yeah.
broken or like
Yeah.
insufferable.
Also, when I
Yeah.
was really young, my neighbor let me play his Chow Garden file on one of the Sonic adventures, and I did
Oh,
like
right.
that. But you're not really playing the game at that point.
Yeah, you're doing like an entirely different little thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. That's fucking funny, man. So that's Sonic Shuffle for you.
Yeah, check out the Game Grumps playthrough. It's at
Yeah.
least the first episode if you're just curious because it's funny too.
Just seeing how poorly conceived everything about this game is. Not only is it like surprising and like shocking, but it's also genuinely funny to think about.
Yeah.
Like, all right, because as Matt says, like if there's no feedback to anything that happens, so you're just like watching these dudes play, and then some random bullshit happens. You're just like, all right,
Yeah.
it's really fucking funny to like watch, right? To like look at.
God
Yeah.
damn. That's all the stuff I had written down.
Shit, dude. Yeah, we're running on 50 minutes. You want to start wrapping this bullshit up?
Yeah, talking about Sonic Shuffle itself is exhausting, so it's probably good that we're getting to the end of the episode here.
Right. Yeah, dude. What have we learned?
Dude, I learned the name of Felix the cat.
Right.
I had no idea. That's a big one for me.
I don't know what I learned today.
I guess you
Who the fuck
learned
else?
that dude got arrested. I
Oh,
don't know his
right. Yeah,
name.
with the election. Shit,
Yeah.
the dude who's apparently winning the primaries for the Republican Party. I guess he's arrested for some bullshit and he might win. So, like, whatever. I guess the next step would be to learn what happens if he actually wins.
Yeah, I guess we'll see what happens first.
If you do know, if you do know
Yeah.
what happens in these cases, please like, comment, and subscribe, letting us know, letting us know what proceeds after if a candidate in prison wins the election.
You'd have to be like a congressional lawyer.
Right. All right. Cool. Matthew Peterson has been a good fucking time, dog.
Hell yeah, dude. Likewise.
Do you have anything to say to Cameron who's listening at home?
I hope you get the emulator working cam for Sega Saturn. because he was talking to me about trying to get it to work with like multi-disc files. I hope it all works out.
All right, that's very nice. That's very kind of you, Doug. All right, cool, man. Yeah, it was a good time. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your participation, Matthew.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I guess I'll see you all next week. Hell yeah.
yeah. Happy Gator Wednesday once again.
Yeah, boy.